Another day, another commitment for Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. This time, four-star cornerback Chris Peal out of Charlotte, North Carolina, Providence Day School. Big-time player, Georgia's fifth defensive back commitment in the 23 class. I think they're going to have one of the best DB classes in all of college football in this current cycle. He's another guy with length. He's physical. He's got great ball skills, natural cover skills. Instinctive cornerback who knows how to make a play on the football. I've got a lot more to talk about Chris Peal and what he brings to Georgia. But first, I've got to plug Doordash. For a limited time, our listeners can get 50% off a $20 value and $0 delivery fees when you download the Doordash app and enter the code DAWG, D-A-W-G. That's 50% off a $20 value and $0 delivery fee when you download the Doordash app in the App Store and enter code DAWG. Don't forget, that's code DAWG, D-A-W-G, for 50% off a $20 value and $0 delivery fee with DoorDash. Boom. Chris Peal, a guy who can play or make plays in all three aspects of the game. He's going to Georgia to play cornerback, but at his school right now, kind of a smaller school, and he's the best athlete on the team, maybe in the entire area, and one of the best overall players in Charlotte. So he plays offense, defense, special teams. So far this year, as a senior, he's rushed for 508 yards, 7 touchdowns. As a receiver, he's caught 22 passes for 301 yards and 3 more touchdowns there. Defensively, he's made 27 tackles and 10 pass breakups. Made a lot of interceptions as a junior. Not sure about a lot. Actually, he only had 2, but he's around the football, and he's got the ball skills. He's going to knock the ball away. He's going to break up passes. He just has a natural instinct, and he's a sure tackler. Listen, if you're going to play defensive back in the University of Georgia, you have to run. He runs at 10.7 in the 100-meter, 21.9, I think, in the 200-meter. Big-time track and field guy. He can jump. Just explosive when you watch him play. As a junior last year, 2021, he made 56 tackles, 2 INTs, broke up 17 passes, though, as a junior. This guy, when the ball's in the air, he's going to get it. Uses his length well. He's just 6 foot, about 175 pounds, so he's not the biggest guy, but he does have long arms. Can improve, I guess, the fundamentals a little bit, just working when he's off, the ball. He's great in press. He's a guy who wants to get his hands on the receiver early, knock him off their route, and be tough and be physical with them. But if he's playing off the ball, there's just some things that he can clean up, but you could say that for everyone in high school trying to translate to the collegiate level and play at Georgia. But he is a physical guy who is going to leave a bruise when he makes a tackle, but he's natural in coverage, and he doesn't play against the best competition, but when you watch the film, he jumps out and he flashes, and he again, makes a play on the ball. There's a lot to like about his game. Now, there will be a transition playing from, kind of a smaller school in Charlotte to playing with the big boys in Athens. And there's a lot of guys he's going to be competing with. A.J. Harris, 5-star cornerback. Daniel Harris out of Miami plays against some of the best players in the country. He is a guy who's rising in the rankings. He's a solid 4-star cornerback. Justin Rhett might move to safety. He's the kid out of Las Vegas, solid 4-star, listed as a cornerback right now. I think he'll play multiple positions. Janelle Aguero, big-time safety, one of the best in the country. And now Chris Peal, number 5. I think they're done at defensive back for this class, and he's a good one. I think Georgia offered him in March, took his official visit to Georgia in June, and that's when we were told, hey, Fran Brown, Kirby Smart, Will Muschamp, Glenn Schumann, all these guys really like him, and he's higher on their board than most think. He's not a 5-star kid. I think he's probably a top 150 player in the country, depending on where you look. So the kid can play. There's a lot to like about his game. He's not the longest guy. He's not the fastest. He doesn't play against the best competition, but he's tough, and he's gritty, and he's physical, and he knows how to tackle. If you can't tackle, you can't play at Georgia. You can't play cornerback at Georgia if you can't be physical and tackle on the outside. But again, he's not a speedster, but he runs really well. He's a track and field guy. He's just a natural athlete, too. When the ball is in his hands, he knows how to make a play on offense. When it's in the air, he's going to go get it. There are not a lot of receivers that he goes up against who are going to create separation on him and make a play on the football. It's just not happening. and he's going to be developed at Georgia. So whatever he lacks right now, he's going to get better at. But he has the raw tools. He's got enough size, enough speed. He's got the ball skills, and he can turn around and run with receivers, but he's not going to be going up against these type of receivers at the next level. So can he play with, the receivers that Tennessee has right now, guys that Alabama used to pump out? Can he cover those game-changing wide receivers? Might take a little bit of time, but it might take him some time to get on the field too. Kamari Lassiter's just in his second year, already starting. Dalen Everett's a guy we've seen get some playing time as a true freshman. Jaheim Singletary, when he is in the game, in these blowouts, we've seen him a little bit not great. He has some improving to do, but he was a 5-star for a reason. Nyland Green, when he's in the game, he's making plays. He's a young kid. So the secondary in Athens is promising, and it's only going to get better. Keely Ringo could come back. I don't expect him to. Not sure he's really played like a 5-star guy so far this season, but I do expect him to leave. So there will be an opening for a starting position next year. Maybe Chris Peal can, play some star. I know the staff likes to kind of mix and match, get guys familiar with other positions in the secondary because they play a lot. I mean, more often than not, they got 5 DBs out there, 2 linebackers, kind of an edge guy, and then 3 defensive linemen. I think that's kind of been their base defense as far as I've seen so far this year. So they like DBs out there, and when you play a lot of DBs, you better have some of those guys who can help against the run and be physical, and he's a guy who can do that. You can't just have 5 guys who know how to cover back there. I mean, depending on the situation, but again, this is a nice pickup, and don't look completely at the ranking. You can't, if you're going to sign 5 defensive backs, they're not all going to be 5-stars. They're probably not all going to be 4-stars, but in this case, there's no current 3-star commitment they have in the secondary that I know of. And I guess I should have looked at every single recruiting outlet to really get an idea. I don't rank kids outside of the state. I'm not going to pretend like I know all of these players by heart who don't play in the state of Georgia. I know kids in the Peach State. That's, those are the guys I can see. I'm not going to North Carolina every Friday night to go see someone, especially when I cover the Dogs on Saturday. So I have not seen him play live. I'm not going to pretend like I know everything about this kid, but the Georgia staff likes him a lot. And he's kind of been quiet about his recruitment. I think South Carolina has been involved. Michigan has been involved. So it's not like Georgia beat out, North Carolina and Duke and Wake Forest for this kid out of Charlotte. They beat out some, respectable programs. So, again, I do think he's kind of a natural. He kind of born to play defensive back, so to speak, when I watch him on film. And he brings a nice, blend of cover skills and toughness and physicality. And again, he's a guy who wants to be physical right off the snap. He wants to get his hands on those receivers, knock them off their game a little bit, and play a physical style of cornerback. But again, everyone's going to clean up some things, and there's going to be a transition from the level of play he's used to going up against until win what he sees in Athens. So overall, he's a solid 4-star guy, one of the best players in the Charlotte area. And Georgia's been trending here for a while. If you've been on Dog Post, you know that I've kind of been mentioned him as being the last DB that they take in this class. Doesn't talk a whole lot about his recruitment, so he's kind of slid under the radar a little bit as far as a ranking standpoint goes, and a guy that Georgia fans know a lot about. But this is a solid pickup. And again, this might be the best DB class in the country. He's a great guy to have on board. I think he is going to surprise some people, and if he does end up earning some playing time, it's a loaded group in the secondary. There's going to be a lot of guys fighting for jobs, but in this class, they wanted to add, long, physical, fast receivers, defensive backs, and they've got 5 good ones. And sorry, I just got like 5 text messages that I had to read. One was for the wife, so yeah, that's one that you got to read, even if you're in the middle of a video. Got to go pick up coffee. Fantastic. But this is a big time player, and I think Georgia fans should be happy with this commitment. Chris Peal, let's see where one outlet has him at. Top 5 player in North Carolina, and that's a state that produces a lot of talent. yeah, he's a top 200 kid in the country. Solid 4-star, again, 6 foot, 175 pounds with length, toughness, natural ball skills, and the guy can cover as well. He knows what he's doing. And if you win over the Georgia staff, you're a pretty good player. And Chris Peal is a really good player in my eyes. Again, solid 4-star, another impressive defensive back, committed to the Bulldogs in the 23 class. Again, you knew all about it if you've been watching these videos, and if you're on Dog Post, head over to the site. I'm going to try to get a massive recruiting update story on Dog Post this week, just asking around, seeing where they're at with some of their top uncommitted targets. So make sure you check that out. Thanks for watching this video. As always, stay tuned to the next one coming up right now. I'll see you over on Dog Post.